Dairy Farmers of Washington, Les Schwab Tires, Girls 4A Swimming and Diving Championships. This is Bob Akamian, and we are underway with preliminary action in the 4A competition. All day long we've been showing you the 2A and 3A meets, and now the big schools hit the water for the preliminary rounds that will set the field for tomorrow's final races. We're underway with the first of three heats in the girls 200 medley relay. Kent Ridge in lane number 1, Jackson in lane 2, Gig Harbor lane 3, Kent Lake lane 4, Skyline, the defending state champs, in lane 5, Cascade in lane 6, Walla Walla lane 7, and Eastlake in lane 8. And so far it is lane number 3, Gig Harbor in the league. Carolyn McCann swimming the second leg. Now the third leg, the backstroke, is underway. The defending state champions are Skyline, Sarah Elderkin, Andy Scarello, Katie Kinnear, and Maria Vladkovic won it last year. Vladkovic and Scarcello back. They're swimming the second and final legs in lane number 5. And now Skyline coming in first. It is Skyline, Kent Lake, and Gig Harbor 1, 2, and 3. So not a lot of surprise in the very first heat. First of 3 preliminaries in the girls 200 medley relay. Great to have you along for all of our live coverage on the WIAA network. Earlier you got to enjoy the 3A preliminaries, and in all the finals, including diving finals, coming your way live on Saturday, November 10th, if you're watching us live. Richland, the favorite to win this year. Skyline, the defending champion. They're back with a good group. Newport, Mount Rainier, Cascade, all contenders. Here's Heat 2 of the women's 200 medley relay. Camas in lane 1, Stadium lane 2, Snohomish lane 3, Richland lane 4, Mount Rainier lane 5, University lane 6, Olympia lane 7, and Puyallup in lane number 8. Early lead is Richland with Lisa Bratton, the junior, listed as their first leg swimmer. She takes the turn very comfortably. Or check that, lane 5, that is Mount Rainier, Megan Kawaguchi. Kawaguchi, big lead on the second half of the backstroke, and it'll be first touch for Mount Rainier. Second swimmer is Rachel Webster, a senior. So the second leg of the 200 medley relay, heat number 2 of 3. And a significant lead for Mount Rainier as Webster makes the turn. Looks like it is Mount Rainier and then University, Andrea Young. Coming to the touch, significant lead for Mount Rainier in lane number 5, followed by University. And then further on the outside, it looks like lane number 2, your third place team, is Stadium. Third leg now, Stadium with Amber Longree listed in the pool. Mount Rainier, Jackie Beal, the senior, Alice Chang for U-High. One more 50-yard length, 2 lengths, I should say, 50-yard run for the anchor swimmer. Mount Rainier in control. Beal coming to touch. And this will launch Maddie Duncanson, the junior, for the freestyle leg. And she gets a long underwater fetch and has a pretty solid lead over U-High. Swimming for University, Marissa Young, the freshman. Already on the turn, Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier, University cruising 1 and 2. Good battle for third right now. But it's going to be Mount Rainier, not even close. 152.73. University 154.06. And Snohomish gets up for third ahead of Stadium, 155.18. Stadium is fourth, and fifth is Camas, 156.13. So 2 heats complete. And now we'll get ready for heat number 3. Again, this is the start of the 4A competition from the Weyerhaeuser King County Aquatic Center. And a disqualification in lane number 6, Olympia, disqualified. Or check that, University. Check that, University, our second place finishing team, disqualified. Again, we get those announcements directly from Meet Control. Don't always know the exact reasons. But the university is DQ'd. Here we go with heat number 3. Working our way back, lane 8 is Federal Way, lane 7 Roosevelt, lane 6 Garfield, lane 5 Wenatchee, lane 4 Newport, lane 3 Issaquah, lane 2 is Curtis. Early lead after the backstroke goes to Wenatchee. In lane 5, Issaquah second to touch. Second swimmer for Wenatchee is Catherine Robinson. Issaquah, Kayla Flatten. Edmonds Woodway, by the way, is in lane number 1. Making the turn on the breaststroke. Good battle in the middle of the pool. Lanes 4 and 5. That's Newport and Wenatchee. Jenny Hugh for Newport. And again, Robinson for Wenatchee. And at the touch, it's going to be Newport first from Bellevue. Hugh turns it over to Lorraine Guo. But now a big jump in lane number 3. Great start for Issaquah. Kelly Marie Langan. Langan with the turn. It is Issaquah and Newport. Langan and Guo. And that's how they'll touch. Going to the final freestyle leg. Almost a dead heat into the water for Wenatchee. Rachel Wilt, Emily Waddell, the junior for Newport. Wilt. For Issaquah, Gabriel Glebers. Good start. Now Issaquah pulling away. Glebers, the junior. Glebers coming to the line. It'll be Issy taking the heat. 150.98, second place. Newport, third place. Wenatchee, Garfield, fourth out in lane number 6. And Curtis in lane 2 finishes 5th. And that completes the preliminaries of the 200 medley relay. 200 freestyle is coming up. Now, if Richland can win the meet this week, they would be the first East Side champion winning the large school classification. Of course, Lisa Bratton, top seed in a couple of events, the 200 IM and the 100 backstroke. But Richland has some big times. Newport, probably the bigger threat out of the King Cove this year, and they've got some pretty good swimmers. Total of 5 returning state champions. Lisa Bratton, again, the story for Richland in the 200 IM medley. Sage Speak of Inglemore in the 100 breaststroke. Felicity Can of Stadium in the 100 free. Kenna Ramey of Federal Way in the 50 free. And diving champion Caitlin Chambers of Garfield, who we will see tomorrow. So we've completed the relay to get things started here at the Weyerhaeuser King County Aquatic Center. The customary break after the first relays, and then we will get the 200 freestyle entrance into the pool. You're watching the 2012 WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Swimming and Diving Championships on the WIAA Network.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Just underway from Federal Way. The prelims in the medley relay are complete. And now we get ready for the first individual events. Again, your heat winners were Mount Rainier, Gig Harbor, and Issaquah. A couple of interesting individuals to keep an eye on this week. Carolyn McCann of Gig Harbor, who spent all of her time last winter qualifying for Olympic trials, did not swim in the high school competition. We'll see her in the 100 breaststroke. McCann is the top seed, already has the automatic All-America time of 1:03.50. Fastest 50 free returner is Kenna Ramey of Federal Way, has a 23.98. And, of course, we've talked about Lisa Bratton of Richland and the Bombers banner prominently displayed across from us in front of the rooting section. So we're getting ready for the women's 200 freestyle, our first individual event of the evening. And that will feature 3 heats, as you might expect. Several youngsters, 3 freshmen, all competing in this event. Heat number 1, Marissa Young of University. Heat 2 is Sarah Davidson. Lane 3 is Natalie Lesnick of Kentwood. Lane 4 is Nicole Weinman of Richland. So here's a Richland swimmer in action. Emma Tim Ballard. Is in lane number 5. She is from Walla Walla. Hannah Pieper of Snohomish in lane 7. And then a couple of Gig Harbor swimmers, Sarah Campbell and Courtney Antilla in lane 7 and 8. So we just get the swimmers up to their blocks right now, and we'll be ready to begin the 3 heats of the 200 freestyle. Top seed is Kalina Laurent of Cascade with a 1:53.30. She'll be swimming in the 3rd heat. Second quick is Felicity Can of Stadium, who we'll see in the 2nd heat. And the fastest prelim in this heat is Weinman of Richland with a 1:55.92. So the first heat swimmers standing behind their blocks right now, and we'll get ready to begin that 200 freestyle. Great to have you along on a busy weekend of the WIAA Network. We have continuous live coverage of the 2A volleyball tournament. Every match being played at Pierce College. We're working our way through the first round right now. Quarterfinals coming up later this evening. You can watch 2 different streams at WIANetwork.com. Just look for volleyball and the 2A volleyball championships. Next week, it's 3A and 4A soccer, the Final Four, live from Sparks Stadium in Puyallup, beginning Friday afternoon. And here we go with heat number 1 of the 4A 200 freestyle. Marissa Young of Union in lane 1. Sarah Davidson of Woodinville, lane 2. Natalie Lesnick, Kentwood, lane 3. Nicole Weinman, top seed of Richland, lane 4. Emma Tim Ballard in lane 5. Hannah Pieper of Snohomish in lane 6. Sarah Campbell, Gig Harbor, lane 7. And Courtney Antilla from Gig Harbor in lane 8. 200 free. And a good battle in the middle of the pool early on as we skip the first 25. At the turn, it looks like Weinman. But they're really 3 abreast, almost 4 abreast right now when you look out to lane 6. And Pieper. So the first 50, it is Weinman, 26.91, followed by Tim Ballard in lane number 5 from Walla Walla. Now the middle passage, and we'll get to the halfway part of this race. Making the turn first in lane number 4, and that is Weinman. And Weinman, who led after the first 50, after 100. Touches first again, 56.48, dead heat now. With Tim Ballard of Walla Walla, who made up just a little bit of ground. So lanes 4 and 5 running close together. Now we'll come to the 3/4 mark of this first heat. And again, it's lane 5 and 4. Faster off the turn appears to be Wienman. But Tim Ballard makes up some more ground. And they come to the final touch, 50 to go. Still Wienman, 126.68. Tim Ballard, 127.06. Over in lane 3, Lesnick from Kentwood, 127.54. Coming to the final 25. And again, Wienman seems just a little bit faster off that turn. They head for home. Wienman from Richland in control. So this is one of the keys to the Bombers winning a state title, and she is there in 1:56.79. Second place goes to Tim Ballard in lane 5, and Natalie Lesnick of Kentwood in lane 3 finishes third, 1:58.62. Fourth place goes to Hannah Pieper. Fifth place, Sarah Campbell. Sixth, Courtney Antilla. Seventh place from Union, Marissa Young. And Woodinville, Sarah Davidson is eighth. Heat number 1 of 3 in the 4A 200 freestyle. Heat number 2 of the 4A 200 freestyle preliminaries. Tori Bowers of Tahoma in lane 1. She's a senior. Taylor Bengia of Woodinville, sophomore in lane 2. Demetra Laurent of Cascade, sophomore in lane 3. Felicity Can of Stadium, the top seed in this group, in lane 4. Kayla Roberson of Inglemore, junior in lane 5. Maddie Mader of Roosevelt, sophomore in lane 6. Cassie Burgess of Newport, senior in lane 7. And Flannery Allen of Kentridge out in lane 8. Clean start, and we're underway. 200 yards. Making the turn in lane number 4, your early leader, no surprise, Felicity Can. Can, the first 50 in style. 25.70 for the swimmer from Stadium in Tacoma. Second place, Roberson of Inglemore. Third, Laurent of Cascade. So that pretty much goes by the book. Easy swim for this group. And Can doesn't even appear to be working hard, but stretching out her lead. New challenger for second right now. That is Laurent. And coming up in lane 6 is Mader. At 100. Can, 53.69 the split, 56.17 for Roberson. And already on the turn is Felicity Can. Still has 50 to go. This is an absolute runaway for Felicity Can. At the touch, she's a 122.10. Second place, a 125. So a big 3-second lead. And this will be no contest. Can, Roberson going to go 1-2, 122.10. I'm sorry, 150.52. 6 seconds faster than the first heat. Now let's see what the third group can do. They've got the fastest seed in Kalina Laurent of Cascade. So 2 heats in the books, 1 to go in the 200 freestyle. .200 intermediate is coming up, and then the 53. The trophy dash. Third heat for the 200 freestyle. For 4A girls, Sarah Simpson of Newport in lane 1. Anna Panabianco of Camas, sophomore in lane 2. Maggie Pana of Newport, junior in lane 3. Kalina Laurent from Cascade, senior in lane number 4. They're underway. Brianna Lucian of Mariner, the freshman in lane 5. East Lake's Lily Newton, the junior in lane 6. Kiara Watson of Newport, sophomore in lane 7. And Amy Cucci of Puyallup in lane number 8. At the first 50, Laurent 26.06 to 26.94 from Panabianco over in lane 2. Now to the halfway mark. It's still Laurent. 54.69 to a 56.76 for Panabianco. So it's still lane number 4 and 2. At the 3/4 mark, it will remain Laurent. Laurent with 50 to go, 124.69. The margin to second, 3 seconds over Pana now of Newport. Panabianco is now in third. So it's lanes 4, 3, and 2 as we begin the final 50. In lane 4, coming to the finish, Kalina Laurent of Cascade. Your winner, 155.22. So Felicity Can dominating in that second heat for Stadium. She's got the top seed going to the final in the 200 freestyle. More to come from Federal Way. You're watching the 2012 Girls 4A Swimming Championships on the WIAA Network.
At Les Schwab, along
100 individual medley. Top seed is Lisa Bratton, one of our ones to watch. She'll be running in the third heat, or swimming, I should say, in the third heat. Top seed in the first heat is Carolyn McCann of Gig Harbor, of a junior. 24 entries. Bratton is the defending champ. Swam a 2:03.7 last year. 2:04.97 her qualifying mark. Last year, Bratton a winner by 2 full seconds. So we're waiting for the swimmers to come up for the start of this individual medley. Diving preliminaries going on right now in the other end of the facility in the dive tank. We will have the diving finals live for you tomorrow. Of course, during preliminaries, they do them simultaneously with the prelims, which is why we're using this far east set of lanes. We'll come to the middle competition lanes tomorrow. Here we go, Heat 1. Alyssa Highland of Snohomish, freshman in lane 1. Rachel Webster of Mount Rainier, senior in lane 2. Cassandra Tolman of Roosevelt, junior. In lane 3, Carolyn McCann of Gig Harbor, junior, lane 4, top seed. Caitlin Taylor of Jackson, senior in lane 5. Ella Brooks, junior from Snohomish in lane 6. Jocelyn Crawford, freshman from Garfield, lane 7. And Leah Avery of Central Kitsap in lane 8. 200 medley. First touch at 50, 27.06 for McCann of Gig. Jackson's Taylor is second at 27.77. Go to the backstroke. And Taylor making her move in the backstroke here, although McCann still holding the lead. There's the touch at 100, 59.68 for McCann. Now the stroke change to the breaststroke. And McCann very steady here. Now it's a battle for second, frankly, between Tallman of Roosevelt and Taylor of Jackson. I think Webster's getting in this mix as well. And I'll check that in lane 6. That's Ella Brooks of Snohomish, who's starting to challenge for second. And even outside of that, in lane 7, Crawford. So everybody's swimming for second place right now. But 50 to go for a runaway leader, Carolyn McCann of Gig Harbor, as they go to the freestyle. Middle of the pool and in control, McCann is going to roll through this heat. There's the turn. McCann swims for home. Second place right now looks to be Tolman of Roosevelt. 2:07.91. So that's right about the seed time for McCann. And second place does go to Tolman, 2:11.41. Third place, Caitlin Taylor of Jackson, 2:11.89. Fourth, Jocelyn Crawford. Fifth, Ella Brooks. Sixth in lane 1 was Highland of Snohomish. Seventh place out of lane 8 was Avery from Central Kitsap. And Rachel Webster from Mount Rainier was 8th. Heat number 2 of the 4A Girls 200 IM. Cristale Umazawa of Skyline, the junior in lane 1. Sarah Norman of Olympia, sophomore in lane 2. Kendall Phillips of Kent Lake, junior in lane 3. Megan Kawaguchi of Mount Rainier, junior in lane 4. Lavinia Yap of Monroe, sophomore in lane 5. Andy Scarcello of Skyline, senior in lane 6. Lucy Brock in lane 7, the freshman from Edmonds Woodway. And Laura Williams of Kent Lake, sophomore, out in lane number 10. Starting with the butterfly. Second heat, 2:07.91, the time to beat so far. And in lane number 2, your early leader is Norman of Olympia, but now coming strong in lane 4 is Kawaguchi, the top seed. She's got a mark of 2:07.8. At the turn, it is Norman, 27.18. Kawaguchi second, 27.24. And Yap third, 27.91. Now everyone coming together on the backstroke leg. Here's the turn. And making a strong move here, Kawaguchi. Big move up in the backstroke, and Kawaguchi will touch first at the halfway point. Kawaguchi comes to the line. At the touch, 58.46. Yap in second now in lane 5. Norman tops in the first leg, now third over in lane 2. To the breaststroke. At the turn, it remains Kawaguchi of Mount Rainier. Second place, still Yap, but by a very narrow margin. Coming to the freestyle in the final 2 lengths. At the turn, it's Kawaguchi, 138.07. Yap, 130. Oh, no, Yap falls to third. Norman caught her. Over in lane 2, Norman back into second place. Let's see who's got the better freestyle stroke. Kawaguchi strong and in the lead. Now Yap pushing up next to her. A little work to do for Norman in lane 2. At the turn, good underwater stretch after the turn for Kawaguchi. Kawaguchi leading the pack. Norman still challenging for second, but it looks like it'll be Yap. Kawaguchi in 4, Yap in 5. That's how they'll finish. 2:08.68 for Megan Kawaguchi. Yap second. 2:09.07. Third place goes to Norman, 2:10.44. And Phillips from Kent Lake is fourth. Fifth place goes to Brock. Umizawa over in lane 1 is 6, followed by Scarcello and Williams. Heat number 3 of the girls 4A 200 individual medley. Abby Crowley of Walla Walla, senior in lane 1. Sage Speak of Inglemore in lane number 2. The junior, Stephanie Munoz of Skyline, junior in lane 3. Lisa Bratton, the defending state champ from Richland in lane 4 of a junior. Jenny Hyo of Newport in lane 5, already in her second race of the evening. Andrea Young of Union, senior in lane 6. Shanley Miller of Skyline in lane 7. And Alyssa Music of Richland in lane 8. Music, one of those younger athletes who could pick up some important points for Richland. We'll keep an eye on her. She's way on the outside in lane 8. She's swimming well on this first leg. Ends up 6th of a line. Bratton first, 27-22. Munoz, 28-03. As we finish the breaststroke, go to the backstroke. At the turn of the backstroke, Bratton making this look easy, and again a big battle for second. Lanes 3, 5, and 6. Munoz, Hyo, and Young. Bratton, 57-46. Wow. Got a 3-second lead already over Crowley on the outside in lane 1 from Walla Walla. Now the breaststroke. I think I said breaststroke earlier. That was obviously the butterfly first. Here we come to the 3/4 mark of the race. No question it's Lisa Bratton. But who else will advance? Looks like lane number 6 now. Young is running in second. At the touch, Bratton 135.33, and it is Young 139.74 in second. Speak in lane 2, 140.96. 50 to go. No question Lisa Bratton is going to advance and win this heat. Let's see what her number is. It's going to be pretty impressive. 2:06.29. Well, not up to her usual snuff, but it's the fastest of anybody in the prelims so far, so that was expected. She's got a little bit to grow on for tomorrow. Second place was Young in lane 6. Third was Munoz in lane number 3. Fourth place goes to Speak. Fifth to Crowley in lane 1. Sixth to Hyo. And then Music out in lane 8. And Miller in lane 7. And that completes the preliminaries for the 4A 200 individual medley. Time for the sprints. The 50 freestyle. The drag racers of the pool, if you will. Defending state champion Kenna Ramey of Federal Way. We'll see her in the third heat. Heat 1, Rachel Wildebonacci in lane 1. Shelby Garrison Snohomish lane 2. Kayla McKee, Jackson lane 3. Dejean Dickens of Edmonds Woodway lane 4. Alana Pries of Emerald Ridge, lane 5, just a sophomore. Gabriel Gevers of Issaquah, lane 6. Kelly Hartman, Eastmont, lane 7. And Eva Barth of Federal Way in lane 8. Down and back, that's all it is. And this is 3-4 abreast racing. Looks like it's going to be lane number 5. Pries. It is 24:01 for Alana Pries. Second place, Kayla McKee. Third place, Dickens of Edmonds Woodway. Fourth place, Gevers of Issaquah. Fifth goes to Garrison. Sixth to Kelly Hartman. Seventh to Rachel Wilt. And Barth finishes 8th. Heat number 2 of the girls 4A 50 freestyle preliminaries. Hannah Benson of Roosevelt, lane 1. Courtney Larson, lane 2. Marley Cross in lane 3. Hannah Brugman of Wenatchee, lane 4. Maria Volodkovich of Skyline, lane 5. Vanessa Wattam of Richland in lane 6. Sarah Avery of Central Kitsap, lane 7. And Alyssa Jacobson of Kamiak in lane 8. Looks like Larson and Cross and Brugman. And it is Brugman 24:06. So not much difference from the first 2 heats. But, of course, Ramey's still to come in this second heat. Second place, Volodkovich 24:50. And then Cross 24:61. Wadham is 4th. 5th place goes to Benson. 6th to Larson. 7th to Avery. And 8th to Jacobson. So 2 heats complete. Fastest 2. Brugman at 24:06 and Pries from the first heat at 24:01. And let's meet heat number 3. Girls, 4A 50 free. Lane 1, Julianne Reed, junior from Camas. Danielle Booth, freshman from Cascade. Loria Guo, junior from Newport. Kenna Ramey, defending champ. Watch her in lane 4 from Federal Way. Elisa Fang of Newport, lane 5. Nicole Carlson, Cascade, lane 6. Hannah Hawley of Curtis, lane 7. And Jess Miller from Tahoma of a sophomore out in lane 8. And Ramey doing her thing, although Ramey's getting a challenge from Guo in lane number 3. Ramey and Guo together. Looks like Guo in 3. It is Guo of Newport, 23:64. That's a big move there. And Ramey, a 23:83. What a fast heat this was. And Fang, who finished second, 23:82. So the first 3 finishers in this heat faster than anybody else in the pool. Guo, Ramey, and Fang laying it down for how that final's going to go tomorrow. And Ramey not a lock to repeat. As you can see, Guo and Fang, junior and freshman, chasing her down. It's time for the traditional break. 15 minutes, and then we will resume with more action at the WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Swimming and Diving Championships, the preliminaries. We will continue on the WIAA Network.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, Well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
all the snacks? I'm right. Where's all the snacks? Where's all the snacks? I'm getting kind of hungry.
We bought them for us, not you.
What about me?
Where are the plates? In the red bag.
And we resume swimming action from the Weyerhaeuser King County Aquatic Center. Bob came in with you At the WIAA Girls 4A Swimming and Diving Prelims, 100 butterfly, heat 1 of 3. Amelia Liu of Newport, senior in lane 1. Laura Johnson of Kamiak, junior in lane 2. Kathy Lynn, freshman from Skyline in lane 3. Gloria Guo of Newport in lane 4, the junior. Emily Tanasi of Kent Lake, senior in lane 5. Alyssa Music of Richland, the freshman in lane 6. Abby McGee of Skyline, senior in lane 7. And Kristen Lemley of Mount Rainier, a sophomore in lane 8. 100 butterfly halfway through at the turn. Guo already had a strong performance in a previous event. And taking charge here. Coming to the finish. Guo now being challenged. Whoa, a great finish in the 50 free. And here she comes in the 100 fly. And it's Guo, 56.94. Second place, Tanasi, 57.50. Third place, a minute .17, is Music of Richland. We talked about the youngster swimming for the Bombers. Fourth place goes to Johnson, 101.26 from Kamiak in lane number 2. Heat 2 of 3 in the girls 4A 100 butterfly. Catherine Davidson of Woodinville, junior in lane 1. Alice Chang of Union, a junior in lane 2. Alyssa Bezanek of Eisenhower, lane 3. Kenna Ramey, Federal Way, in lane 4, top seed in this group. Caitlin Taylor Jackson, senior, lane 5. Kendall Phillips, Kent Lake, junior, lane 6. Sarah Elderkin of Skyline, senior, lane 7. And Estelle Kim, the junior from Todd Beamer, in lane 8. It's practically a home meet for her. Coming to the halfway point, lane 4, it is Ramey. Caitlin Taylor in lane 5 finished third in this event a year ago. At the turn, it was Ramey of Federal Way, 26.34. Another home slice, so you get a Federal Way and a Todd Beamer swimmer in the city limits, as it were, here in Federal Way at the Weyerhaeuser King County Aquatic Center. And coming to the line, Ramey and Taylor. Federal Way versus Jackson. It's going to be Ramey. 56.54 to a 56.70 for Caitlin Taylor. Third place, Phillips, also under a minute, 59.66. And fourth goes to Bezanek of Eisenhower, 1 minute and 43. Had a disqualification back in the first heat, and it's the freshman, Music from Richland. Time now for heat number 3 of the girls 4A 100 butterfly prelims. And a Stefandes of Wenatchee in lane 1. Cassandra Peterson of Wenatchee in lane 2. So a junior and a senior. Stephanie Munoz of Skyline, junior in lane 3. Kalina Laurent of Cascade, senior in lane 4. Sarah Olson of Richland, senior in lane 5. Sarah Norman, sophomore from Olympia, lane 6. Callista Skog of Inglemore, freshman, lane 7. And Regan Smith, senior from Auburn, in lane 8. Top seed is Laurent, 56.64, top seed for the entire event. Last year she was second in state, 56.81, behind Katie Kinnear, who, of course, swam the 3 best all-time marks here in the state meet in her 3 years, first at Eastlake and then her final 2 at Skyline. First 50 goes to Laurent, 26.52. Boy, already pretty solid half-second margin. Laurent doing what she does best, and in second place next to her in lane 5, that's Olson. To the finish of the 100 fly, third and final heat. It is Laurent, 57.13. So the slowest of the 3 heats so far. But still 3 swimmers under 1 minute, so overall not so bad. Sarah Olson of Richland second, 58.79. Third, Munoz of Skyline, and make that 4 under a minute. 59.08 for Sarah Norman of Olympia. She finishes fourth. And that wraps up the prelims for the 100 butterfly. Time for the 4A 100 freestyle preliminaries. Jessica Miller of Tahoma in lane 1, Kelly Hartman of Eastmont lane 2, DeJean Dickens of Evans Woodway lane 3, Alana Prees of Emerald Ridge, sophomore lane 4, Nicole Carlson of Cascade lane 5, Hannah Hawley of Curtis in lane 6, and Gabrielle Gevers of Issaquah lane 7. Kira McMinimum of Gig Harbor is in lane 8. At the turn, Prees, 25.52, a sophomore from Emerald Ridge. Top seed out of this group, but it's very close. A lot of swimmers under 54 seconds. Hannah Brugman of Wenatchee, the top seed overall, 52.97. We'll see here in the third heat. Here we come home. Prees is going to take it all the way. Alana will go to the final. Prees of a touch, 52.69. So good first heat. Good pace. Second place goes to Gevers, but back at 54.81. So Prees just kind of swam her own race there. Carlson from Cascade third, 54.99. Hawley fourth, 55.27. And then Dickens, Miller, Hartman, and McMenamin. So a good start for Alana Prees. Felicity Can of Stadium, the defending state champ. She is not swimming this event this year. One of those events that Amber Kratzenberg dominated from TJ over the last few years. And let's meet the swimmers for heat number 2 of the 4A 100 freestyle preliminaries. Marissa Young of Union, freshman in lane 1. Shelby Garrison, junior of Snohomish in lane 2. Vanessa Wadham of Richland, a senior in lane 3. Marley Cross, the freshman from Garfield, top seed in this group, 53.22. Maria Volodkovich of Skyline, senior lane 5. Courtney Larson, Mount Rainier, senior lane 6. Kennedy El Haj of Newport, freshman lane 7. And Maddie Duncanson, Mount Rainier, in lane 8. And good early start in the middle of the pool. Cross, Veladkovic, and Larson. Halfway through at the turn, it is Cross, 25-57 to a 25-61 of Veladkovic. So very close. Garfield versus Skyline at the turn. They'll head home. Marley Cross, the freshman from Garfield, all the way. Now she's being challenged by Veladkovic. Still looks like Cross. Cross to the touch. 52-91. So the first heat still a bit faster, but a little tighter here. Veladkovic 53-56. Third place goes to Wadham of Richland 54-26. And then El Haj 56-17, followed by Garrison, Larson, Young, and Duncanson. Third heat of the 100 freestyle preliminaries for 4A girls. Cassie Burgess of Newport, senior in lane 1. Darcy Booth, Cascade, senior in lane 2. Catherine Armstrong of Monroe, sophomore, lane 3. There's Brugman, the top seed of Wenatchee. Lane 4, Stacy Mayer of Issaquah, lane 5. Kayla Flatten of Issaquah, lane 6. Julianne Reed of Camas, lane 7. And Eva Barth of Federal Way out in lane 8. Some points to be had here. For Issaquah. Halfway through at the touch, it's Brugman, 25-16, followed by Meyer, 25-26, and then Flatten, 25-6-8. Turning home, it's going to be Brugman. No doubt about it. Brugman, 52-46. So a nice improvement on her qualifying best. Brugman throwing it down. Second place, 52-98 for Meyer. And third, Flatten, 53-27. Fourth, Armstrong, 54-60. And that completes the 100 freestyle preliminaries for 4A girls. You're watching the 2012 WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Girls Swimming and Diving Championships on the WIAA Network.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Time for the marathon event, the 500 freestyle for 4A girls. First of 3 preliminaries. Allie Haas of Eastlake in lane number 1. Sarah Olson of Richland in lane 2. Bella Chilchuk of Kent Ridge, a senior in lane 3. Brianna Lucian of Mariner, freshman in lane 4. Lily Newton, junior from Eastlake in lane 5. Hannah Benson, junior from Roosevelt, lane 6. Tori Bowers, senior from Tahoma, lane 7. Hannah Pickett, Union, senior, is lane 8. And we're off 500 meters, 20 lengths of the pool. And you'll notice, of course, in the end, they do give the swimmers reminders of how many lengths they have left, because, frankly, it's hard to count and swim at the same time. So you'll see at the end, they have their backs to us right now. At poolside, they are dropping down. So after 50, your leader is Lucian of Mariner, 28:51. $18 to go. Jill Chuck second from Kent Ridge, 28:37. Third out in lane 8 is Pickett from Union, 28:51. Coming now to 100 yards. Still Lucian in lane 4, 58.95. Second, Chilzik of Kent Ridge, 59.75. And then Benson of Roosevelt, 59.81. Now after 150, still Brianna Lucian of Mariner, 130.46. Chilzik of Kent Ridge, 131.54. And then Benson, 131.89. At 200 now of 500, still Lucian, 201.91. At 250, it's Lucian, 233.92, followed by Chilzik. So it continues to be that 1-2 battle. And Lucian making a mockery of this at 300, 305.65. 200 to go. Lucian again at 350, 305.65. To 400, 100 to go. Lucian in charge, 337.83. And here comes the bell. It'll be 50 to go for Brianna Lucian with a commanding lead. 4:10.23, 4:42.69 now through 4:50. This has been all Lucian all the way. Second place, it's a long way back. Brianna Lucian, the freshman from Mariner, showing what the long event is all about. 5:13.85. Not quite her best. She's got a 5:12 that qualified her. And, of course, this was one of those events that Amber Kratzenberg moved up to the long distance last year and won going away by 3 seconds. But Lucian lights it up first. Bella Chilchuk of Kentridge, second, 5:19.91. And third goes to Hannah Benson of Roosevelt, 5:21.82. Fourth place on the outside, Hannah Pickett, 5:24.79 from Union. And then Lily Newton, Sarah Olson, Tori Bowers, and Allie Haas. Heat number 2 of the girls' 4A 500 freestyle preliminary. Sarah Campbell of Gig Harbor, senior in lane 1. Kira Watson from Newport of Bellevue, sophomore in lane 2. Jackie Beal of Mount Rainier in lane 3. Nicole Wienman of Richland, senior in lane 4. Maddie Mader of Roosevelt, sophomore in lane 5. Taylor Bingy of Woodinville, sophomore in lane 6. Anna Burdine of Mount Rainier, sophomore in lane 7. And Lindsay Willis of Kamiak, junior in lane 8. At 50, it's Wienman, 27.93, and then Watson in lane 2, 28.54. Mader of Roosevelt, 28.58. She's in lane number 5. At 100. Still Wienman, 58.32. Mader in lane 5 now in second, 59.40. And Beal in lane 3, 1 minute and 35. Still Wienman at 150, 129.57. Mader 130.69, and Beal. So as happens in the 500 frequently, you kind of find your spot and you stay there. You know you're going to have to swim again in the final. So you kind of fall in your groove and you don't see a lot of position changing. It's 200, Wienman, 201.34. Then Mader, 202.43. Beal, 205.21. Coming to the halfway point. 250 yards down, 2:50 to go. Nicole Wienman of Richland. 2:33.05 to a 2:34.40 for Mader, and Beal in lane 3 remains third. So it's lanes 4, 5, and 3, pretty much the show as it's been from the beginning. Again, 5:13.85, the best time so far by Lucian, who just the freshman from Mariner just owned the first heat. And we have Felicity Can from Stadium coming up in the third heat. Now, she didn't swim this event last year. At 300. Wienman, 3:05.11, full second faster than Mater. And then at 3:10.63 is Beal from Mount Rainier. Here we come to 350 yards. So it was a full second last time. Now Wienman, 3:37.48 to 3:38.47. Still about a second. So those two very consistent. And Beal in third, 3:43.40. So the first three swimmers just cruising. Here we come to 400. 4:09.55 for Wienman. Mater, 4:10.87. And now at 450 yards. They'll hear the bell. 2 lengths to go. Wienman, 4:41.66. Mater, 4:42.95. It's more than a second lead. So Nicole Wienman taking care of business for Richmond. Jackie Beal still running third. So let's see what the final time is. Wienman still being out. I tell you what, Mater's done a good job staying within that margin of 1 second. And here we go, 5:12.33. So more than a second faster than Lucian of the last heat. And Mater, 5:13.89, just about as fast as Lucian. So Maddie Mater doing maybe the toughest thing, just hanging close in second place and does a good job. Third place goes to Beal, 5:20.12. 5:25.20, fourth place for Kira Watson. Fifth is Anna Burdine, 5:25.37. And then Taylor Benji, Sarah Campbell, and Lindsay Willis. Heat number 3 of the 4A girls 500 freestyle. Amber Garrett of Moses Lake in lane 1. Michelle Francois of Issaquah, junior in lane 2. Maggie Panna of Newport, a junior in lane 3. Felicity Can, Stadium, top seed at 5:06.96. Senior in lane 4. Demetra Laurent of Cascade, sophomore in lane 5. Natalie Lesnick of Kentwood, a junior in lane 6. Sarah Davidson, freshman from Woodville in lane 7. And Victoria Peterson from Wenatchee, a freshman in lane 8. 500 yards, 20 lengths. And at the first 50, it is Can of Stadium, 27.11. Second over in lane 6 is Lesnick, 28.01. And third out on the outside, Peterson from Wenatchee at 28.43. At 100, it remains Can 57.30 and Lesnick 58.47. So lanes 4 and 6 are your leaders at 100. And here we come for 150, and already Can is laying it down. And again, building up one of those leads. And at 150, it's Can, 127.48. Second remains Lesnick, 129.52. Third, 131 for Pana in lane 3. At 200, a 158.16 for Can. And quite a distance now, 201.35 for Lesnick. So it's a 3-second margin already at just 200 yards. Pana up in lane 3 and third, 203.50. Now at the halfway point. Felicity Can of Stadium, 228.29. Her margin over Lesnick is now 5+ seconds, 5.5. And Can clearly putting down the best time of the night, at least halfway through. Next scoring touch will be at 300, and here comes Felicity Can. .259.04 at 300. Good battle now going for second place. It's going to be Lesnick and then Laurent. Pretty close together. Lesnick 306.31 and Laurent 307.60 and 307.61 for Pana in lane 3. So second and third are a nice big mess right now. Here we come to the 350 touch with Can. And then the threesome battling for second. 329.84 at 300. Then Pana. Now Pana's in second. Lesnick third. Laurent fourth. But you can put a net over them. They're within 0.3 of a second. Already making the touch at 4:01.27 is Can. Second, close again. It's Pana, 4:11.18, 4:12.25 for Laurent. Lesnick, 4:13.36. $50 to go now for Can at 4:50. Her touch, 4:32.72. And she's already passing second and third as she makes her way back down for the final 50. Second place is still Pana. Now Pana extending her lead in second by over a second over Laurent. So Pana finishing strong. Lesnick in fourth. Here comes your winner, Felicity Can, to the finish line. .5:02.76, 10 seconds faster than anybody else in the pool. Now let's see if this second place time gets pulled along. Still waiting for second. It is Pana, 5:14, so that's on a par with the winning times of the other two heats. 5:15.82 for Laurent in third, 5:20.16 for Lesnick in fourth place. Francois is fifth in lane number 2. Sixth is Davidson. Seventh will be Peterson. Eighth will be Garrett. And that concludes your 500 freestyle prelims. Felicity Can of Stadium, 10 seconds better than anybody in the field. She'll go on to the final tomorrow. It is relay time. The always exciting 200 freestyle relay. 3 heats of preliminaries. The defending state champ is Stadium. They're in lane 7 in this heat, not nearly the same group as a year ago. They won in a 1:38.78, which is one of the 5 fastest ever. Kittredge in lane 1, Kamiak lane 2, Newport lane 3, Kinlake lane 4, Issaquah lane 5, Inglemore lane 6, Stadium lane 7, and Eastmont in lane number 8. And we are off 4 times 50. So take your best sprinters and lay it on the line. Flannery Allen of Kent Ridge listed as leadoff swimmer for Kent Ridge. Alyssa Jacobson in lane 2. Cassie Burgess lane 3. Kendall Phillips for Kent Lake in lane 4. Michelle Francois in lane 5. Now we go to the second leg. First touch goes to Kent Lake, and their second swimmer is Laura Williams, the sophomore. Off and churning. Second place Issaquah. Their second swimmer is freshman Brooke Flatten. So the second 50 of 4. And it looks like it is going to be Issaquah in lane 5 making the touch first. It is 50-50 the split. Third swimmer Kayla Flatten, the senior. So definite sister act. Second place is Kent Lake. Their third swimmer Danielle Brooks, the senior. Third place Newport. 51-68 the split. Third swimmer is Jenny Hugh. Here we come now, the last 50. And a strong run, and it's going to be Kent Lake. So a good third swim for Brooks, and that puts Emily Tanassa in the pool with the lead. Second place now Newport. Their anchor swimmer is Sarah Simpson. And third is Inglemore, and they're anchored with the outstanding Sage Speak. So some of the aces in the pool there for the finish. And here we go, lane 3. Newport making the move. And it is Newport, 140.91. And a good last swim. Chloe Carr set up Sage Speak, and Speak finishes very strong. Inglemore, 140.91, 3 seconds better than their qualifying mark. Kent Lake second, Issaquah third, 140.93, 141.95. Fourth place is Inglemore, fading in the stretch. A pretty exciting Heat 1. This is why this is one of the more popular relays. Let's get ready for Heat 2. Heat 2 of the 4A 200 Freestyle Relay. Tahoma, lane 1. Snohomish, lane 2. Mount Rainier, lane 3. Cascade, lane 4. Garfield, lane 5. Skyline, lane 6. Camas, lane 7. And Puyallup in lane 8. Fastest qualifier is Cascade in lane 4. 141.50. Here we go, leadoff swimmers. Tori Bowers for Tahoma, Katrina Bela for Snohomish, Rachel Webster, Mount Rainier, Darcy Booth for Cascade, Garfield is Jocelyn Crawford, Kathy Lynn for Skyline, Camas has Julian Reed, and for Puyallup, Olivia Wood. First 50, there, look at this, how close this is. Everybody but lane 8 swimming within an arm's length. First of a touch, lanes 5 and 3. So Garfield, Mount Rainier, first touch was Garfield, 25-32. Their second swimmer is Gwen Umbach. Second swimmer for Cascade is Nicole Carlson. Second swimmer for Mount Rainier, Aaron Ronald, a sophomore. And pushing ahead here is Cascade with Carlson. Cascade to the touch. Third leg, Cascade 50-64, Garfield 51-29, and Camas in third, 51-81. Third leg for Camas is a freshman, Corinne Bintz. Garfield's third swimmer is Hallie Huffaker, a senior. Cascade, Danielle Booth, the freshman. Cascade in control now. Look at Booth. Big anchor opportunity for Kalina Laron. And she's in the water. 1:15.08 the split. 1:17.30 for Camas now in second. So Camas got a third leg out of the freshman Bintz. Sierra Coletto is the anchor of a sophomore. At the turn, it looks like Laura and Cascade all the way. But making a move now in lane 3 is Mount Rainier with Courtney Larson. Chasing Garfield. Cascade, Garfield, Mount Rainier, Camas. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cascade 1:39.51, so an even faster race. Garfield 1:41.48, 1:42.76 for Mount Rainier. Camas 1:43.88. Fifth place, Tahoma, followed by Skyline. We mentioned Stadium earlier, but with a little bit of a... Oh, no, check that. That was Skyline in lane 6. And then Puyallup and Snohomish. So for now, Cascade, the fastest of all. But one heat to go. And the Richland Bombers and Wenatchee ready to get in the pool. Heat number 3 of the girls 4A 200 freestyle relay. Gig Harbor is in lane 1. Curtis in lane 2. Central Kitsap lane 3. Wenatchee lane 4. Richland lane 5. Federal Way lane 6. Roosevelt lane 7. And Olympia in lane 8. Fastest in this group again was Wenatchee, 141.37. Richland at 141.67. So already Cascade and Inglemore have swum faster than that. Swimmers on their blocks. Lead-up swimmers, Megan Nitchman for Gig Harbor, Jenna Postma for Curtis, Sarah Avery, Central Kitsap, Hannah Brugman from Wenatchee, Lisa Bratton for Richland, Eva Barth for Federal Way, Mari Cutts for Roosevelt, and Reagan Underland for Olympia. And at the turn, looks like it might be Central Kitsap in lane number 3 and lane 5, Richland. First touch, Central Kitsap, 25-24. Richland, 25-55. Federal Way, 25-74. Second swimmer for Central Kitsap, Michaela Polson. Richland, Lauren Hall, a freshman. Federal Way, Colby Blake, a sophomore. Wenatchee got kind of left at the post. They were 5th with Hannah Brugman. Now Rachel Wilt trying to make some ground up, and she is doing just that. And Wenatchee comes back. Wenatchee the leader after 100. How about that for a turnaround with Wilt? Cassandra Peterson now swimming for Wenatchee. Second place was Richland at the exchange. Central Kitsap 3rd, and up to 4th was Curtis in lane 2. Now the final swim. 50 to go at the line. It's lanes 4 and 5 together. Wenatchee with Audrey Parrish, the freshman. Richland with Vanessa Wadham, the senior. Head-to-head, Wenatchee and Richland. Good turn for Wenatchee with Parrish. At least that's the listed swimmer for the anchor leg. Wenatchee leading Richland. It looks like Wenatchee. Wenatchee at the line, 140.67. So not the fastest. Cascade still the fastest overall in the 3 heats. Richland second, 141.30. Curtis up to third, 143.38. They got better and better all the way through in their legs. Federal Way fourth, 144.26. And then Roosevelt, Gig Harbor, Olympia, and Central Kitsap. That completes the 4A 200 freestyle relay preliminaries. You're watching the 2012 Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Girls Swimming Championships from the Weyerhaeuser King County Aquatic Center in Federal Way on the WIAA network.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Getting ready for our next event. It'll start in the pool, the 100 backstroke preliminaries. And last year, Katie Kinnear helping Skyline to the championship, winning this event. She has, of course, graduated, but it ended the 4-year reign of terror of Anna Marie Thayer of Ballard, who swam the 3 fastest times ever in 3 of her state championship years. Heat 1 will be Leah Avery of Central Kitsap in lane 1. Sophomore Bethany Harper of Redmond, freshman in lane 2. Lavinia Yap of Monroe, sophomore in lane 3. Kayla McKee of Jackson in lane 4 of a senior. She's the top seed of this group. Emily Tanassa of Kent Lake, senior in lane 5. Anna Panabianco of Camas, sophomore in lane 6. Hannah Pieper of Snohomish, junior in lane 7. And Kristen Lemley of Mount Rainier, lane 8. 100 yards, heading down to the halfway mark. And it looks like McKee, no surprise there, 27:58. Second place at the turn, Tanassa, 28:26. Yap, 28:93. And here we come. It'll be Kayla McKee all the way in this one in lane number 4. Second place looks like Tanassa of Kent Lake. McKee touches 56:13, so nice improvement from her seed time. Nothing close to Thayer's all-time mark, so 53s, 2 of them in her career. 53:82, the all-time state best just set 2 years ago. Second place goes to Tanassa, who also goes 58 seconds. And third place to Yap, 59:54. Fourth, 1 minute and 62 for Panabianco. Fifth place is Harper of Redmond. Sixth is Avery of Central Kitsap. Seventh is Pieper from Snohomish, and Lemley is 8th. Heat number 2 of the girls 4A 100 backstroke preliminaries. Bella Chilchuk of Kentridge, senior in lane 1. Jackie Beal of Mount Rainier, senior in lane 2. Emma Tim Ballard of Walla Walla, junior in lane 3. Megan Kawaguchi of Mount Rainier, fastest of this group, at least seating time, junior in lane 4. Stacy Mayer of Issy in lane 5, a senior. Landon Hopkins of Eisenhower, sophomore in lane 6. Sarah Elderkin of Skyline, senior in lane 7. And Kate Poulton of Gig Harbor, senior in lane 8. 4 lanes. That's going to be Kawaguchi, 27:48. Meyer, 28:14. And Tim Ballard, 28:33. So the form chart is true so far, halfway through this race. Kawaguchi appears to still be in control. Here comes Kawaguchi to the finish. Challenge out of lane 6. That may be... Check that lane 3, Tim Ballard. It's Kawaguchi, 56:81, so very similar to the last heat. Second place goes to Meyer, 58:21. Third is Tim Ballard, 58:56. Heat number 3 of the girls 4A 100-yard backstroke prelims. Lauren Hall of Richland in lane 1. Abby Crowley of Walla Walla lane 2. Kristali Umazawa of Skyline, junior in lane 3. Lisa Bratton of Richland in lane 4. Lisa Fang of Newport, freshman in lane 5. Catherine Armstrong, sophomore from Monroe in lane 6. Livy Cox, freshman of Union in lane 7. And Alexis Raber of Eastmont, senior in lane 8. Top seed again, Bratton, 56:88. And Bratton is going to certainly be a big key to Richland's title hopes. So far it appears Richland has advanced everybody they thought they would as we get to the latter stages of qualifying. Here's the turn halfway through. Lisa Bratton of Richland in second place. Fang beat her to the line, 27:59, 27:62 for Bratton. So just 0.03 of a second, and it's a trophy dash to the finish. Bratton coming back, though, in the second 50. Bratton takes the turn first and now opens up almost a whole length. Wow, good length there. 25 big yards for Bratton, and Bratton surging to the finish here. Lisa Bratton laying low for the first 50, but the second 50 all her. 56-43 to a 58-18 for Fang. Armstrong of Monroe third, 58-76. Fourth, 59-97 for Crowley from Walla Walla, followed by Umezawa, Cox, Raber, and Hall. And that completes the 100 backstroke prelims. Don't forget to join us online tomorrow for complete coverage of all the finals in the 2A, 3A, and 4A championships, including the diving finals, all for you on the WIAA network, the home of Washington's high school championships. Next weekend, 4A, 3A soccer takes center stage from Sparks Stadium in Puyallup. Semifinal, third place, and championship action Friday and Saturday on the WIAA network. And, of course, if you click over to volleyball, you'll see all the action from the main courts at the 2A volleyball championships at Pierce College down in Steilacoom. We filled in two of the final four. Or almost two of the final four there. Sela has advanced, and West Valley about to finish off Burlington Edison. Two more matches to come tonight, so plenty of great sports viewing on the WIAA network in the championship season. Now the 4A 100 breaststroke preliminaries. Emily Britt of Curtis in Heat 1 and Lane 1, the junior. Jenny Hyo of Newport, freshman in Lane 2. Laura Williams of Kent Lake, sophomore, Lane 3. Defending champ Sage Speak of Inglemore, junior in Lane 4. Andy Scarcello of Skyline, senior in Lane 5. Sarah Avery, junior, Central Kitsap in Lane 6. Alyssa Highland of Snohomish, freshman in Lane 7. And Catherine Robinson of Wenatchee, Lane 8. They take the turn on the breaststroke. Speak won last year with a 1:04.31. Her qualifying time just a 1:07.93. At the turn, it's Scarcello and Speak, 31:43 to 31:69. And then Avery, 32:85, 50 to go. Good battle under the water, and Scarcello seems to have a little bit of an edge. Speaks going to challenge. Scarcello still looks like Scarcello. Let's see what Speaks got at the very end. Tough event to make up the margin, but Speak got her. 106.96 to a 107.38. And that shows you the toughness of Sage Speak, who didn't need to win the heat, but showed she could finish. Comes from behind to win. Third is Williams from Kent Lake, 109.60, and then a 110.21 for Avery from Central Kitsap. Hyo is fifth. And we'll move along to heat number 2. Heat number 2 of the 100 breaststroke preliminaries in the 4A girls competition. Shanley Miller of Skyline, senior in lane 1. Louisa Chan of Ballard, junior in lane 2. Danielle Booth of Cascade, freshman in lane 3. Jocelyn Crawford, top seed of this group, freshman of Garfield, lane 4. We've seen her being impressive already tonight. Cassandra Tallman of Roosevelt, junior, lane 5. Lucy Brock, Edmonds Woodway, freshman, lane 6. Rachel Webster, Mount Rainier, lane 7. And Cheyenne Shane of Walla Walla, senior, lane 8. Here we come, first 50. Who you got? Looks like lane number 5, which would be Tallman. And check that, it's Booth at the turn. Tallman second, Crawford third. Split time, 31:97. Here we come to the finish. Tallman. Crawford is caught up now. Booth still in the hunt, but Booth's about a head length behind. And it looks like Crawford. No, Tallman got her. 108.31. Crawford, or Tallman, I should say, then Crawford, then Booth. 108.13, 108.16, 108.99, and then fourth place on the lane 7, Rachel Webster. Mount Rainier, 109.38. Fifth place is Chan, followed by Brock Shane Miller. Heat 3 coming up. Heat number 3, girls 4A 100 breaststroke preliminaries. Third and final heat. Amanda Marr of Stadium, senior, lane 1. Chloe Carr of Inglemoor, sophomore, lane 2. Andrea Young, senior from Union, lane 3. Carolyn McCann, junior, Gig Harbor, lane 4. Caleb Roberson, junior, Inglemoor, lane 5. Kayla Flatten, the senior from Issy, in lane 6. Ingrid Strom of Kamiak, sophomore, in lane 7. And Mackenzie Mergel of Puyallup, the freshman, in lane 8. 4 lengths of the breaststroke. And the early lead, to no one's surprise, is McCann. Here he comes, the first touch. It'll be McCann, 29.85. Pretty good margin to a 31.35 of Young. It's a pretty good edge at 50. Third place is Roberson, 31.60. Now the final turn for home. And it is McCann all the way. McCann smokes the field. 103. Wow. 63. So right at her qualifying time. That's faster than last year's championship swim of Speak, who went 104.30. So Carolyn McCann showing that she is the favorite in this event when the final comes around. Roberson of Inglemoor second, 106.33. Third place, Young from Union, 107.23. Fourth place, 107.87. Flatten. Fifth place was Carr. Strom was sixth. Marr seventh. Mergel eighth. Last event of the evening coming up, the 400 freestyle relays. We'll be back with that. You're watching the 2012 WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Swimming and Diving Championships from Federal Way on the WIAA Network.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
As we get ready for the 400 free relay, let's remind you that tomorrow our live coverage begins at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's if you're watching us live on the WIAA network. The 2A championships, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time for the 3A championships, and 6:30 for the 4A championships. Alex Webster and I will have all the action for you there. So look forward to that. Championship night. Here we go with the preliminaries of the 400 freestyle relay for the 4A girls. 3 heats. Heat 1, Puyallup in lane 1, Issaquah lane 2, Walla Walla lane 3, Skyline lane 4, Mount Rainier lane 5, Roosevelt lane 6, Eastlake lane 7, and Central Kitsap in lane 8. Top seed is Skyline, 3:40.18. They're the defending state champions. Cristale Umezawa, the leadoff swimmer for Skyline. Skyline State Championship time 3:32.87. It's the 3rd fastest ever last year. First of a line, Central Kitsap, 26:39, followed by Walla Walla, 26:45. So in the water for the second leg for CK is Michaela Polson, the senior. Walla Walla's second swimmer is Natalie Fink, the junior. Now lane number 3 starting to push ahead here. That is Walla Walla. So Fink having a good second leg. And they get Cheyenne Shane into the water. So Walla Walla leading in the exchange. Central Kitsap on the outside in lane 8, second. And Skyline third, 56-17. $121.76 for Walla Walla. Final swimmer is Emma Tim Ballard. Look at this. Walla Walla is very strong. Final leg. Tim Ballard in the water with a tremendous lead. 151.34 to 154.18 for Mount Rainier. So this one really going back and forth. $50 to go now. 2:18.69 for Tim Ballard and Walla Walla. Mount Rainier solidly in second, well, by a half second over Roosevelt. So an interesting finish now. Mount Rainier and Roosevelt battling for second and third. Walla Walla, anchored by Emma Tim Ballard, will take this. We'll look for the time. Now the final leg. Walla Walla with the exchange. I think we got a little ahead of ourselves before by 100. Skyline, Roosevelt. Here's the first 50. Well, we got through all night without losing track of a length count, so we're feeling pretty good about that. Skyline now, 3:14.73. Skyline is anchored by Maria Volodkovich. Walla Walla, Mount Rainier. Walla Walla mounting a late surge. Skyline in lane 4. Skyline, 3:42.82. Mount Rainier second, Walla Walla third. A big final leg for Volodkovich. And Skyline the winner, 3:42.82. Mount Rainier second, 3:43.11. Third place goes to Walla Walla, 3:44.03. Fourth, Roosevelt, 3:45.13. And then Eastlake, Central Kitsap, Puyallup, and Issaquah. And Skyline was just disqualified after that great finish. Skyline disqualified. That's the announcement. Here's heat number 2. Emerald Ridge in lane 1, Union in lane 2, Inglemore lane 4, Inglemore lane 3, Richland lane 4, Gig Harbor lane 5, Garfield lane 6, Curtis lane 7, Olympia lane 8. Leadoff swimmers, Claudia Anderson in lane 1, Libby Cox for Union, lane 2, Kayla Roberson for Inglemore, Lisa Bratton for Richland, Sarah Campbell for Gig Harbor, Gwen Umbach for Garfield, Hannah Langlow for Curtis, and Hannah Floten for Olympia. Here's the first 50. Narrow lead for Richland with Bratton. Of course, good strategy putting Bratton up front. She can create a pretty good margin. Inglemore second, Gig Harbor third. Now we'll complete the first 100. Good surge in lane 3 by Inglemore. Roberson going to finish nicely. Inglemore will get the first exchange. Inglemore 54.81 to a 55.29 for Richland. Second swimmers, Callista Skog for Inglemore. Richland, Lauren Hall. Gig Harbor, Amanda Smokoff. Kelsey Walter for Garfield, Jenna Postma for Curtis, Taylor Jones for Olympia, Madison Davis for Emerald Ridge, Marissa Young for Union. At the turn, it's Richland 121.75 ahead of Inglemore, so good start for Hall in that second leg. And part 2 of the relay is complete. Richland Invalid 150.61, a 2-second margin. So a lot of credit to Hall, and now Alyssa Music, the freshman, is in the water. Third swimmer for Emerald Ridge, Jordan Barbary. Alice Chang for Union, Chloe Carr for Inglemore. Kira McMiniman for Gig Harbor, Olivia Borgman for Garfield, Michaela Walden for Curtis, Melissa Ward for Olympia. There's the turn, still Richland. Richland's lead, 2 seconds. They'll be looking good going to the final 100. Final leg for Richland, 246.22. The lead is commanding the final swimmer, Sarah Olson, the senior. The margin 3 seconds now over Inglemore. Inglemore's final swimmer is a good one, Sage Speak. Alana Priest for Emerald Ridge, Andrea Young for Union, Carolyn McCann for Gig Harbor, Haley Huffaker for Garfield, Hannah Hawley for Curtis, and Sarah Norman for Olympia. 50 to go. That'll be no contest at the finish. Richland giving you a taste of what they're going to do in the relays. 3:39.95. That's 3 seconds better than Skyline. Remember, Skyline was DQ'd at the end of the last heat. Second place, Inglemore, 3:42.59. Third, Gig Harbor, 3:43.46. And Union, 3:44.53. Curtis is fifth, Olympia sixth, Emerald Ridge, and Garfield. 1 heat to go. Third heat for the girls, 4A 400 freestyle relay. Woodinville in lane 1, Kamiak lane 2, Wenatchee lane 3, Newport in lane 4, Cascade lane 5, Snohomish lane 6, Jackson lane 7, and Tahoma lane 8. And we're off. Woodinville leading off. Sarah Davidson, the freshman. Kamiak, Laura Johnson, a junior. Hannah Brugman for Wenatchee, a junior. Newport has Cassie Burgess, a senior. Nicole Carlson for Cascade. Katrina Bela for Snohomish. Kayla McKee for Jackson. And Tori Bowers for Tahoma. First 50, it looks like Newport and Burgess. And it is 25-19 Jackson in second with McKee. So now we'll see the first 100. Man, it's no contest so far for Newport. 52-89 to a 53-80 of Jackson. So it's still Newport-Jackson. Alyssa Fang, a freshman, second leg. Hannah Davis, a freshman for Jackson. Woodinville has Taylor Bingy. Haley Lastly for Kamiak. Kaylee Elwin for Wenatchee. Darcy Booth for Cascade. Hannah Davis, as we said, for Jackson. Mackenzie Dress for Tahoma. Halfway through this leg, 119.32 for Newport. Jackson a 121, so they remain 1-2. And now here we go. We're halfway through this race, third leg. Newport looking good so far. Maria Guo going in the water. 148-27 the split for Newport. Cascade now up to second, 151.03. Cascade has Danielle Booth. Third, still Jackson, so Jackson dropped one notch, but still running strong. Ashley Sawyer, freshman, in the water right now. Tahoma has Anna Pierre in the water. Snohomish, Shelby Garrison. Casey Howell for Wenatchee. Erin Henriksen for Kamiak. Jessica Bruce for Woodinville. At the split, 2:14.92 for Newport. And here we go with 100 to go. It is all Newport. 2:44.72. Second, Cascade, 2:46.67. And Snohomish has moved into third, 2:48.23. Jackson now in fourth. Anchor swimmers, Catherine Davidson for Woodinville, Ingrid Strom for Kamiak, Cassandra Peterson for Wenatchee, Jenny Hyo for Newport, Kalina Laurent for Cascade, Alyssa Highland for Snohomish, Caitlin Taylor for Jackson, and Jessica Miller for Tahoma. 50 to go. Newport by 2 seconds over Cascade. It does not look like Jenny Hyo, one of the super freshmen for Newport, is going to give any ground. 25 to go. Hyo strong under the water. Cruising on home. Cascade will be second. Let's look for the time. Nice, a 3:37, fastest so far. 3:37.55 for Newport. Cascade a 3:40.23. Snohomish a 3:43.21, and Jackson 3:43.49. Fifth place Wenatchee. Kamiak is sixth. Woodinville seventh. Tahoma eighth. And that will wrap up the preliminaries for the 2012 WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Girls Swimming and Diving Championship. All official results will be posted momentarily online at WIAA.com. And of course, you can watch live scoring there and follow along with us on the internet. We're back with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the Girls 2A Championships. And of course, all the championship action of the 3A and the 4A to follow on Championship Saturday for girls swimming. 3A meet coming up at 2:30. The 4A meet, these girls swim again at 6:30 on Saturday night. For all of our great WIAA Network crew, I'm Bob Akamian. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching the 2012 WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Les Schwab Tires 4A Girls Swimming and Diving Championships, the preliminaries on the WIAA Network. Good night from Federal Way.